You probably have a can of tuna in your kitchen. Lots of folks do. It's quick, it's easy, you can make a sandwich in minutes. But have you ever stopped to think about how that tuna got there? It's quite a trip. This isn't just about opening a can. This is about a journey. From the deep ocean all the way to your pantry shelf. That tuna started out as a powerful fish, swimming free in the vast blue ocean. Tuna are built for speed. They can cross entire oceans. Imagine that. Miles and miles of open water. Let's dive in. Alright, let's talk about catching these giants. Fishing for tuna isn't like a lazy Sunday afternoon with a fishing rod. This is serious industrial-scale fishing. We're talking big boats, often far out at sea. They use heavy-duty equipment. Because tuna are big, strong, and fast. Fishermen work hard in all kinds of weather. It's a demanding life, and it takes skill. One common way to catch tuna is called seine fishing. Imagine a huge net, sometimes over a mile long. The boat spots a school of tuna. Maybe they see birds diving or use special electronics. Then, they release a smaller boat, a skiff, that pulls one end of the net. The main boat circles the tuna, surrounding them with this massive wall of netting. Then they pull the bottom of the net closed, like a drawstring purse, trapping all the fish inside. Then there's longline fishing. A main line, incredibly long, can stretch for miles. Attached to this main line are shorter branch lines with baited hooks. Thousands of hooks dangling in the water. The boat sets the line, then comes back later to haul it in. This method can catch different types of fish, including specific kinds of tuna. And you've got pole and line fishing. Fishermen stand on the deck using strong fishing poles with a short line and a lure or bait. Once those tuna are out of the water, the clock starts ticking. Fish spoil quickly if they aren't handled right. The tuna are usually frozen right there on the boat, as soon as possible. They have powerful onboard freezers. These bring the temperature way down, super fast. This locks in the freshness. The journey back to port can take a while. These boats might be hundreds, even thousands of miles from shore, so the tuna stay frozen solid in the boat's refrigerated holds. The boat itself becomes a kind of floating cold storage unit. Finally, the boat reaches the port. This is where the tuna makes its first landfall. Cranes swing into action. Workers in heavy gear are ready. They start unloading the frozen tuna. These fish can be huge, weighing hundreds of pounds each. It's cold, hard, physical work, lifting and moving these icy giants. The air is chilly, even on a hot day, around the unloading area. As the tuna come off the boat, there's often an initial inspection. People check the quality. They look at the size and condition of the fish. They might sort them based on species or grade. This information is important for the buyers and the processing plants. From here, the tuna will be transported, usually by refrigerated trucks, heading to the cannery. So the frozen tuna make their way to the processing plant, the cannery. They often arrive packed in ice inside refrigerated trucks, still frozen solid as a rock. The factory workers, they're ready for them. This is where the real transformation begins. From a whole fish to something that fits in a can. First things first, these frozen tuna need to thaw out. But you can't just leave them sitting in the sun. The thawing process is carefully controlled. They might be placed in special thawing rooms or in tanks of chilled water. The temperature is monitored closely. It has to be done slowly and evenly. This can take many hours, even a full day. Once the tuna are thawed, or at least softened enough, they go through another round of inspections. Quality control is a big deal in these places. Trained workers examine each fish. They're looking for any signs of damage or spoilage, anything that doesn't meet the standard. Only the best quality fish will make it to the canning line. After inspection, the tuna are often weighed and graded again. Each fish is accounted for. Information is key in a modern factory. They need to know how much raw material they have. This helps them plan the production. Efficiency is the name of the game in these plants. Now we get to the part that, well, isn't for the faint of heart. Cleaning the tuna, it's a necessary step. You can't just cook a whole tuna and stuff it in a can. So, the thawed fish are moved to the butchering area. Here, skilled workers get down to business. They remove the head, tail, and fins. Then, the fish is opened up and the internal organs, the guts, are taken out. It's a messy job. But these folks are pros. These workers, they handle sharp knives with amazing speed and precision. It's a skill learned over time. They know exactly where to cut, how to minimize waste. They work efficiently, fish after fish. After the initial butchering, the fish are thoroughly washed. High-pressure water sprays are often used to remove any blood, scales, or leftover bits. Everything needs to be super clean. Hygiene is paramount in a food processing plant. What you're left with after this stage are large pieces of tuna, often called loins or chunks. This is the good stuff, the prime meat of the fish. These clean sections are now ready for the next step cooking. The fish looks completely different now. Alright, the tuna is cleaned and ready. Next up, cooking. This isn't like frying a fish in your kitchen pan. We're talking large-scale industrial cooking. The tuna loins or pieces are typically loaded onto racks or into big metal baskets. Then, these go into huge cookers. These cookers might use steam or sometimes hot water. The temperature and cooking time are very precisely controlled. It's a science. Cooking firms up the meat. This makes it easier to handle in the later stages, especially when it comes to removing bones and skin. It also helps to develop the flavor and texture that we expect from canned tuna. And, critically, cooking helps to kill any bacteria. After cooking, the tuna isn't immediately ready for canning. It needs to cool down. The cooked tuna is moved to a cooling area. Sometimes it's air-cooled, sometimes it's gently sprayed with cool, clean water. This gradual cooling is important. It prevents the meat from drying out too much. Once the tuna is thoroughly cooked and cooled, there's another cleaning step. This is where any remaining bones, skin, and dark meat are removed. Now we're getting to the heart of it. The tuna meat is cooked, cooled, and cleaned. It's ready for its final destination, the can. The type of tuna in the can, whether it's solid pack, chunks, or flakes, determines how it's prepared at this stage. Sometimes the loins are kept whole, other times the meat is broken into smaller pieces. It all depends on the product specifications. The empty cans, shiny and clean, move along a conveyor belt. Automated machines take over for the filling process. These machines are incredibly precise. They measure out the exact amount of tuna that goes into each can. Then, depending on the recipe, other ingredients are added. This could be salt water, vegetable oil, or a special broth. Once filled, the cans move to the sealing station. A lid is placed on top of each can. Then a machine called a seamer crimps the lid onto the can body. This creates an airtight seal. This seal is vital. It keeps the tuna fresh. It keeps out air and contaminants. The sealed cans aren't quite finished yet. There's one more crucial process: sterilization. The cans are loaded into large pressure cookers called retorts. Inside the retort, the cans are heated to a very high temperature under pressure. This process, also known as autoclaving, kills any remaining bacteria or spores. After the intense heat of the retort, the cans need to cool down. They are often sprayed with cool water or pass through a cooling canal. Once cooled, they get a good wash to remove any water spots or residue from the sterilization process. You want a nice clean can on the store shelf, so they make sure each one is sparkling. These cans have been through a lot. Now they're almost ready for their close-up. Next up, giving the can its identity, the label. Rows of clean, sealed cans move along another conveyor. They pass through labeling machines. These machines work at lightning speed. They expertly wrap a colorful label around each can. Suddenly, the plain silver tin is transformed. It now has a brand name. Pictures of delicious tuna, nutritional information, all the details a customer needs. With their new labels on, the cans are ready to be packed. This can be done by machines or by hand, or a combination of both. Cans are usually grouped together. Then they are packed into cardboard cartons or onto shrink-wrap trays. These cartons are then stacked neatly onto pallets, ready for shipping. The pallets loaded with cartons of canned tuna are now ready to leave the factory. This is where logistics take over. These pallets might be loaded onto trucks, or into shipping containers if they're going long distances, maybe even overseas. Another journey begins for our humble can of tuna. From the factory gate to warehouses, then to distribution centers. It's a complex network, all designed to get food to where it's needed. Think about it, that can of tuna travels again, across highways, maybe across oceans one more time, but in a different way. It sits in vast warehouses, waiting for orders from supermarkets and stores. Then it's loaded onto another truck and delivered to your local grocery store. The store workers unpack the cartons. They stack the cans neatly on the shelves. In the aisle you walk down when you're looking for a quick meal. And there it is, sitting on the shelf, brightly labeled, waiting for you. You pick it up, you put it in your cart, you take it home.